Well. World-class veteran video game critic Michael Does Life. Oh, Michael.
Oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup. Don't be setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup. Don't be setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup. Don't be setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup. Don't be setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup. Don't be setup. Trailer, there's a mo, it's a
Shut the fuck up! Fucker! Move!
Folks at home, we need you to lock in here today. We know that you guys are fake Resident Evil fans. Of course, I'm not a fake Resident Evil fan, but you might certainly be. And really, quite frankly, that could never be me. Because you see, you jumped off of the bus in Fortnite and somehow, someway landed in Raccoon City. So we got news last night that there is a Resident Evil showcase happening tomorrow on the 15th of January. Well, actually not tomorrow. 2 days from now, the 15th of January. And we will be covering the Resident Evil 9 Requiem showcase so that the fake Resident Evil fans can get that dissection that they so desperately need but don't want from world-class veteran video game critic Michael Does Live. So we need you guys to be in here for the Resident Evil showcase on the 15th in just a couple of days as of this broadcast, as Capcom is going to be pulling the curtain back on their latest slop. And you guys don't care, but you will once they pull the curtain back. And once your favorite YouTubers have something to say about this game, because they're professional shills, they're professional sellouts, and that's all they know how to do. So right now, things are a little quiet, but just know that right around the corner, Resident Evil 9 is lurking, and we're going to have to look at it, and we're going to have to dissect it in a way that makes sense. The Resident Evil showcase was announced, I believe, last night. And they are doing it on the 15th of January in a couple of days. We will be covering that. We expect a big audience in here for that. And we're going to be dissecting that in a way that makes sense on the 15th. But we got a pre-dissection here today. Okay, World Class is rolling out the table in a way that makes sense to show you the reality of the situation just before that Resident Evil showcase. And look at this right here, popping the cherry right here on the air as the broadcast begins. The 111 is coming through.
Still haven't recovered after yesterday's.
That's what we're talking about. Well, they need to shape up out here because we don't get these kind of days in January, okay? And it's colder out here today. I actually think that it was yesterday, to be honest with you, despite the temperature being a little higher. But the warm weather's not going to last, so... And I know you guys don't care for these bench streams, and I really couldn't care less because, quite frankly, this is what we want to do. And if you can't get on board, well, that's okay because that's nothing that we're not used to. So the 111 is in the building, and he's popping the cherry as the broadcast is on the air, folks. We need you to hit the like button, share the broadcast. Share this with the Resident Evil fans. Go to the 4 channel, go to the Game Facts, go to the Reddit, go to the Twitter. They'll probably ban you immediately, but... you know, make a new account. I don't know. Doesn't seem to be a problem in here. So there you go right there. Upon Fee is actually coming through before the broadcast began, and he popped the cherry with the $5 super chat, and he says right there, cherry for the greatest man in all of video. And it's just time for these people to wake up. I mean, we can't sit around and wait for these people to wake up. We got to do the show, and regardless of whether or not they're ready. Projector begins when it begins, and if you're not in your seats, too bad. Upon Fee is coming through, and he's coming through in a way that makes sense. You'll love to see it. 3-6 is in the building as well with the 5. And he says 9 is an unlucky number. Well, this game isn't really called Resident Evil 9. It's called Resident Evil Requiem, so... they don't really title the games like that anymore. But the 111 is in the building as well, and he's popping the cherry as we're on the air. And he's coming through. Yesterday was our lowest supported stream of 2026. We were on a roll there. We were really on a roll there, and then yesterday came, and it went back down to these terrible numbers. And today it's already looking a little bit better, but we'll see if you guys fall off or not here today. There's multiple ways to support the broadcast. Hit the like button, which of course is free. Chat in the chat, which of course is free. Share the broadcast, which makes it even more fun and exciting. Because if you can get Resident Evil fans in here, they're rabid dogs. And if we can get that opportunity again to get these rabid dogs in here, there's going to be a big back and forth debate. Hell, I'll open up the lines if they want to start discussing this game in a way that makes sense. But we're going to give you the pre-dissection here today before the 15th. As the Resident Evil showcase is going to begin on the 15th, which is in just a couple of days. So Capcom is ready to pull the curtain back ever so slightly on Resident Evil 9 Requiem. And we will be there for that. But we're here right now. We just put up a brand new video on this game, and I swear it's a dead game. I mean, they just don't care about this game, and I'm just... You know, it's not my job to sell you the game. I don't work at Capcom. You know, I'm not an ambassador. So, if you don't care about the game, that's on Capcom. Pixie's coming through. Look at this right here.
Where is your RE9 demo? Slot.
Yeah, that's a great question, Pixie. Where is the Resident Evil 9 demo? Now, some people are suspecting that it will be potentially announced on the 15th, that there actually will be a demo and that Capcom was playing possum, but we don't know because it's not the 15th just yet. But as it stands right now, for the first time in 20 years, there is no Resident Evil public demo for Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and that's what the horse's mouth said. That's what Capcom said, that there won't be a public demo for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. They also said Leon wasn't in the game, and of course they had to keep that under wraps. But I'm not sure why they would essentially lie about there not being a demo. I'm not sure really what the reason for that would be. But with that said, we will have to see on the 15th. I think there needs to be a demo. I think there needs to be a demo that they put out, and to get people excited about this game, because right now the hype is pretty low. The only people that are talking about this game are the hardcore, not even hardcore Resident Evil fans, the Resident Evil fans that are just going to always be there day one. And they're the only ones talking about this game. And, of course, you have the professional sellouts and the shills when, the time is convenient for them to make as much money as possible and get get a ton of views as well. They'll be there as soon as they can. And right now isn't that time, of course. But they can kiss my foot and kiss my ass because today we're doing the dissection right now. It's as simple as that. We're doing the dissection right now. And look, here's the thing. We want this game to be great, okay? We don't want to go in, and we're not hoping for the game to fail. We're not hoping for the game to be trash. I want to go in, and I want to be pleasantly surprised, okay? One thing I am liking so far with what I've seen, and of course they're keeping a lot under wraps, is that they brought back zombies, or at least they look like zombies, in a traditional sense. Resident Evil 7 has molded monsters, tar monsters, and that's about it. Resident Evil Village has werewolves and a couple of other monsters, no zombies. So them bringing zombies back, or at least they look like zombies, I think that's a step in the right direction. Now, how long will that stay interesting for? And how long before they have these tentacle squid creatures coming out of the fucking woodwork? Probably 2 hours within the game. I don't know. But I will tell you that I am liking the fact that there are zombies back in the game. I think that's what's desperately needed. Let's bring back the survival horror element. Let's bring back the classic zombies that people know and love and are accustomed to. That's fantastic. You could argue it's boring, but it is time to, bring it back to its roots. So that's one thing I can say positively about this game, and that's probably where it ends. We're looking at Resident Evil 9 right now, and this is, of course, Capcom's opportunity to sell us on the future and the present of this franchise instead of going back and remaking things and remastering things for a quick buck and for a guaranteed cash grab. At the end of the day, those remakes were terrible. All three were terrible. Resident Evil 2 remake was absolute garbage. No one wants to talk about that one, though. Resident Evil 3 remake, the internet turned on that game, and they say that it was total slop and it wasn't like the original game. And the Resident Evil 4 remake, the highly controversial Resident Evil 4 remake, well, not in the eyes of the shills. I mean, most people actually enjoyed it, which is really a shame because they took a classic game that you could just replay for hours and hours on end for literally years straight because it was just a great game on GameCube, PlayStation 2, and the Wii and things like that. And they took that classic game that is just really iconic. I mean, it's just really in the entertainment, pop culture, gaming space. And they took that iconic classic game and they destroyed the shit out of it. And they had these shills that they flew out, probably Los Angeles, and they fucking shilled the shit out of the game. And it's just like, y'all are fucking stupid. The game is fucking trash. The Resident Evil 4 remake is trash. And I can't wait until that video drops because it's going to be a hell of a fucking time to watch these people lose their fucking minds and foam at the mouth all over again. I mean, it's really going to be fantastic. So we're waiting for that, and, it's going to be amazing when it drops. I'll tell you that. That we can certainly tell you. But we got to get through this slot right here, Resident Evil 9, and this is going to be a one and done. I mean, this is going to be a game that people talk about for a couple of weeks and then move on. It'll be a pretty big spike for a lot of these creators and chills. When it does drop, I think February, 27th, February, something like that, 24th. I don't know when it drops. I think it's the 24th of February. So when it drops next month, and if there is a demo, I think that will help a little bit for the pre-orders because right now, why would you want to pre-order this game? Well, you got Leon S. Kennedy coming back, and they have this paid sponsorship with Porsche in the game. Can you imagine making a Resident Evil game and now it's just a fucking billboard? It's like, yeah, Leon S. Kennedy, he's driving around this fucking Bugatti and shit, and it's just like, this is dumb. I mean, it's really fucking stupid. I can make a better Resident Evil game in AI right now. I mean, honestly, we really could. We can make a better Resident Evil game in AI right now. I want Leon S. Kennedy to come back, but he doesn't want to come back. You know what I mean? And you could have done so much with that. An older, seasoned Leon S. Kennedy. You could have really done so much more with that. But instead, what this is, it's an asset flip from the Resident Evil 4 remake. You can see it as clear as day. The mechanics are very, very similar. The animations, hell, could be the exact fucking same. I haven't really gone through them that closely. But it's just a really sad situation on how they're basically just saying, hey, you guys love the Resident Evil 4 remake. We're going to copy and paste these animations. We're going to copy and paste some of these assets, throw them in the Resident Evil 9, and you guys are going to sit there and go, oh my God, Leon's back. And that's what these fake Resident Evil fans are too busy doing. They're not concerned of quality. I don't care if you don't care. We will have over 400 viewers in here, at least 350 for Resident Evil 9 Requiem when it drops on the 24th of the February. And if there's a demo coming sooner rather than later, then we'll check that out as well. And I'm sure it's going to be the most boring demo imaginable. If Capcom is going to release a demo, despite them saying that they weren't going to release a demo, then I can only imagine that it's going to be probably the most boring demo possible, where you're just running around from that Rumpelstiltskin monster, and that's going to get really stale really quick. So I don't even know if there really is a reason to put out a demo, because if you're not going to show off anything new, is that going to really entice pre-orders? It can make some for interesting viral moments for these Twitch streamers and shit like that. But at the end of the day, I don't know if that's enough. I think it could actually backfire, because people could play the demo for Resident Evil 9, and if you're running around as Grace and you got the Rumpelstiltskin monster chasing you all throughout, that's really boring and stale. We've seen that time and time again in the Resident Evil 2 remake with Mr. X, and we've seen it again in Resident Evil 3 remake with Nemesis, and it's the same cut and paste formula. And we have heard from Dusk Golem, which the Resident Evil community hates. So if you want to troll the Resident Evil community, go to the Reddit, go to the Discord, and don't even, nothing about me. Just type in Dusk Golem said this today about Resident Evil 9, and they'll ban you within probably about 5 minutes. Because they'll just label you as a troll, and they'll say he's not credible. So, they get really hot about people getting attention, because we're in the attention economy on the World Wide Web here. And it's a really sickening thing. And hopefully in 50 years, they shut down the entire internet and everybody has to actually live a life and better the quality of their existence, really, honestly, because this whole thing needs to just be, it's a thing of the past, really, honestly. And AI will take over. Your personal robot will take over, and it'll help you out. And it's just going to be a fantastic future in the next 40-something years. But right now, we're not there. And it's a sad situation, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. So the 15th of February, which is in just a couple of days or so, we will be checking out the Resident Evil Showcase. So not February, January 15th. In just a couple of days, we will be checking out the Resident Evil Showcase. They just announced it last night. They showed a snippet of brand new gameplay that literally looks worse than Resident Evil 7, yet no one wants to talk about that. And that's why we're here today. Because they are not listening. That I can tell you. They are not listening. They don't want to listen. And I want to be wrong about this game. I want to go in and say, okay, well, we didn't like Village. Village was too fantasy. Village was too boring. Village was bringing really nothing new to the table. I thought 7 was okay. I thought 7 had, when I first played it, I thought it was total garbage. But then when we replayed, I thought, okay, I can see where they're going with this, the Jack Baker family, and, this whole new kind of aspect. And I'm not saying it's a great game even, really, but I think it was sort of a step in the right direction. The problem with Resident Evil 7 is that the second half of the game turns into just the most generic slop. You got fucking the ship segment, and then that's when we turned it off, because it was just junk. And the third Jack Baker boss fight was totally trash. You're roaming around, and he turns into a fucking octopus under the sea, and he's got fucking tentacles and eyeballs, and you got to shoot the weak points. And when you're doing that in a video game, it's ridiculous, because guess what? When you fight Jack Baker initially, you don't really know what's going on. He's got the car in the garage, all hell's breaking loose. I think that's an interesting kind of concept right there that's really never been done before. He's getting in the car, and he's mowing you down with the car. That's actually pretty cool. And then you have the chainsaw one, which is a little bit more goofy, but we can still buy into that to a certain extent. And that was kind of interesting and fun, especially different for Resident Evil and in VR. Okay, and then we come back to the third iteration of Jack Baker, and it's just the most stereotypical Resident Evil fucking thing that you could ever imagine, with a bunch of fucking orange eyeballs for weak points. And I said, wow, they really just threw in the towel here because they couldn't think of anything interesting or unique to do as we fight Jack Baker one last time in Resident Evil 7. And then you got to make a choice, and then you get on the boat and go to the shipwreck like it's the motherfucking Titanic. And there's just the same old creature in there. The game really fell off. And then you got Resident Evil Village. You had to shoehorn Chris Redfield back up in there like he's some motherfucking spec out from Call of Duty, Night Vision, and all this dumb bullshit. They got literal Metal Gears in that game. It's a wacky fucking loser-ass game that I could tell you, Resident Evil Village. So that game sucks too. So Capcom had to go back and say, hey guys, we're going to remake this, we're going to remake that, and we're going to remake that. And you guys sat there and said yes. That's what we're talking about. Harry Holmes is stepping up to the plate in here, and he's coming through in a way that makes sense. It's what we love to see. Harry Holmes is in the building. He is plowing through in a way that makes sense. Hard and strong, $20 super chat. Current king of the jungle. I need the fake Resident Evil fans to get on board, because after Resident Evil, the likelihood of locking into GTA 6 is looking more and more realistic as we head into March and April and May and summertime there, especially if the game is really coming out on November 19th, 2026, because really what else is there to cover unless something else pops up in between now and then? Of course, you've got Crimson Desert, but that looks like another mobile fantasy game. We'll check it out, but it could, it could exceed expectations. We don't really know just yet, but when that drops, we'll probably check that out. But I've heard, a lot of great things about it, and it could be too good to be true, I'll tell you that. So Harry Holmes is in the building, and he's plowing through in a way that makes sense. It's what we love to see. The Resident Evil Showcase is this Thursday, okay? Maybe you didn't hear me earlier. The Resident Evil Showcase is this Thursday, folks. We will be covering that on the 15th of this month. That's in 2 days. Resident Evil Showcase for this game. Now, we have the dissection table ready, and when it's time to pull it out, we will. So I know it's not what you fake Resident Evil fans want to hear, and they've already left nasty comments on my videos, and no one seemed to care to defend World Class, You guys should really step up. You guys should step up and reply to these. And this isn't a normal, a regular troll. It's a mentally ill rabid dog from the Resident Evil fan base, and there's many of them, believe me. So you guys should step up to the plate and be like, dude, you're a fucking loser. Like, go see go see Dr. Phil or some shit. I mean, I can reply to it, but I'm not interested in giving losers like that attention. So you guys can maybe step up to the plate and interact with these mentally ill people. But actually, that's probably not a good idea either, because they're just really that fucking far off. So the 15th of January, in just, 48 hours, Resident Evil Showcase is on the horizon. There could be potential news of a demo. Now, Capcom said that there won't be a public demo for this game, but they've had plenty of demos at these events for people to play if you were at those events. And we have yet to see a public demo, that I can tell you. We have yet to see a public demo for Resident Evil 9. They have had a public demo, but it has been exclusive to events, and you had to be at those events to play Resident Evil 9, the demo there, which I think just had Grace roaming around, and you could, fight the monster or run away from the monster, whatever you do in the fucking game. And honestly, that sounds like a boring demo. And if I were a Capcom, I would say, well, we're keeping this game under wraps. How do we really want to market this game? How do we want to sell this game? Is it the best idea to put out this demo to potentially boost pre-orders a month away, but the demo is boring as hell? I don't know if that would be a great idea. Because if the demo is so boring and you're roaming around and you're running from the fucking Rumpelstiltskin monster, I mean, how long is that going to be fun for? We've seen that in Resident Evil 2 Remake. We've seen that in Resident Evil 3 Remake. We've seen that in a lot of these games, and it's the same cut and paste formula. And I'm not so sure that that's the best idea But maybe it is. Capcom obviously has the data. Capcom obviously can figure out what is going to work in terms of boosting pre-orders. And maybe if people get a little taste of some action in Resident Evil 9 Requiem, they might be more inclined to pre-order the game when it releases, I think, on the 24th of February. So maybe a demo at this stage is a great idea. And if they do release a demo, whenever that would be, we will definitely be checking it out. Resident Evil 9 Requiem demo. I completed Resident Evil Village on stream. We almost completed Resident Evil 7 on stream, I think a year or so ago, but the anniversary for that is coming up, so we might have to dive back into Resident Evil 7. We're on the road to Resident Evil 9 here, and you guys need to start shaping up. I put out how many videos on this game already? 4 or 5, 6 videos, and it's going in one ear and out the other. I need you guys to lock in when we upload a video instead of sitting there and it says 300 views in 2 hours. That's horrible. I had bigger and stronger views in 2018. We really did. We had bigger and stronger views in 2018 than we do now in 2026. And it just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. I remember I put up my Spider-Man 2018 video, and motherfucking ass, they were in here. There was over 1.3 thousand views for my Spider-Man review because people are actually anticipating the fucking video. They actually clicked with the content for some reason, and now all of a sudden you guys can't click with it because you guys want to sit here and lollygag and sit there and go, oh, Michael. Well, no one was doing oh, Michael back then. They wanted to hear what World Class had to say about Spider-Man 2018 and expose it in a way that makes sense. Look at this right here. Cool Friend is coming through.
Cool Friend super chatted $4.
Cool Friend is in the building and he's coming through.
Resident Evil is a tired franchise. What happens later this year when the 40-hour campaign of GTA 6 is done in a week?
Oh, my God. Guys, I understand you guys are negative. And maybe I'll go ahead and say that maybe the content that I do produce does kind of foster a negative mindset, unfortunately. But I didn't really think it through that deep. So, Nonetheless, we can't say that every game is dead because what's the point in hyping up anything? I mean, what's the point in looking forward to anything when you guys are just going to sit there and say AAA gaming is dead and indie games are alive? I disagree. I think it's the opposite. Indie games are dead because I've never heard of your indie game. If indie games were so good and so alive, then people would be playing them outside of the streamers, right? No one's doing that. They're indie games. They're independent games for a reason, People watch Quentin Tarantino movies in the theater when they release, or at least they used to back in the day. And, you're not watching an independent film because you never heard of it. So, there is some logic to it where it's just like, well, if no one's playing this game, I mean, look at Splitgate, for example. Splitgate, they had to relaunch Splitgate, and it totally failed. Splitgate totally failed, and you could argue the game is good. You could argue there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not clicking with people, and that's the problem. And I can't imagine being the devs and saying, well, we got a good game here, we got a good foundation here, but no one's playing it. Well, why is that the case? Well, I don't know. There's obviously something not working, just like this stream. People can't be bothered to figure it out. They can't be bothered to click with it. Well, that's not my problem, and I really couldn't care less because I'm not going to spend the next fucking however many weeks, months, years trying to figure it out. You either get with it or get lost. And if that means we only have 5 viewers, that's great. It's just the way it is. Look at this right here. Jack Pitton, he's got that web scraper out.
Jack Pitton super chatted £4.
Jack Pitton's got that web scraper out. Let's go.
Web scraped and can confirm GTA 6 is coming November 19th.
Look at that right there. That's what we're talking about. Jack Pitton is in the building and he's coming through. He's confirming he's got that web scraper tool out. Jack Pitton is in the building and he's coming through. With the $5 super chat, he's got that web scraper out. Well, we're going to need it. These Resident Evil fans are foaming at the mouth. Right now, I would argue that they might want to borrow your web scraping tool so they can get more information on this game so they can have their first video out so they can get some views and ad revenue. That's what these losers do. And if we do get this game early, we will obviously bring you that coverage in a way that makes sense. That is certainly a possibility with this game, I would argue. So if we do get the game early, we will be covering it in a way that makes sense, and we'll try and get things ready and get things going. Jack Pitton in the building coming through with the 5. We need you guys to hit the like button, share the broadcast. We got to get the Resident Evil fans in here. The Resident Evil Showcase is in 48 hours. It is this Thursday, the Resident Evil Showcase this Thursday. And we're hoping for a big turnout there. Now, we got a lot to say on this game here. We have a dissection table ready, and on the dissection table is everything you need to know and see about this game from our perspective. And if you don't agree with our perspective, that's fantastic, because when you agree, you actually have nothing to say. So we need you to disagree so that way you have something to say, because when you guys agree, you don't really have anything to say. So we need you to start disagreeing in here. Because when you agree, you don't have really anything to add to the conversation other than, yeah, I agree. And that doesn't go too far. But when we have people that come in here and they actually do disagree and they're respectful, they're civil about it, then we can go back and forth in that way. Now, I'm not saying the game is total trash, because obviously we haven't played it, but from what we've seen so far, there's a reason to be kind of concerned, and not only that, cautiously optimistic here for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Because, quite frankly, Resident Evil Village was a total snooze fest. It was absolute. You can go back and watch the stream. You might have to dig, but you'll find it somewhere. And it was a chore to get through, let me tell you that. It was an absolute chore to play Resident Evil Village in 2021. So that was an anti-fun game. It was very woke. And didn't care about any of the characters, didn't care about any of the enemies, didn't care about any of those goofy-ass cast of characters. I mean, really, honestly, just junk. So I will say that this time around you got Grace and you have Leon S. Kennedy. Those are the two main protagonists in this game. And obviously Leon's going to click with a lot of people, and I think that's a smart move to bring back Leon, because it's just a fan-favorite character. It is fan service, and it is a guarantee way for them to make some quick money, because honestly, who wants to play as Grace? Not many people do. But when you add Leon to the combination and they work together, that's going to make for a more interesting approach. So they've had so much time to put together this game. I think they've been working on this game since, after Resident Evil 7 came out? And Resident Evil 7 came out, 9 years ago? So they've been essentially working on this game for 9 years, maybe a little less. But they've been working on this game for quite some time, and I just don't know what they're actually trying to do with this game, but I certainly hope it's a lot more dynamic and interesting. And Joshua Trump is coming through. He's had enough.
$5.
Whew.
Been replaying GR Breakpoint since your coverage on New Year's Eve. It's time to hand Ubisoft the flowers that they deserve.
We're going to have to. And you know what?
Breakpoint is amazing.
That's what I'm talking about. I think some of those games just came out at the wrong time. I really do. I think some of those games came out at the wrong time when they weren't quite, the gaming space wasn't quite ready for those type of games. Now they can put out slop, and it's just a sad situation. Joshua Trump is in the building. Let's go ahead and get the lasers out. Joshua Trump is coming through. And he's coming through in a way that makes sense. And speaking of Ubisoft, they actually just, I think they announced, or they're going to announce soon, but The Division is getting seemingly a remaster or something like that, and The Division 2 as well. I think those are in the works, or the definitive editions or something like that. So if they can bring, I know The Division 2 is getting a realism mode, and maybe the first game as well, and that's fantastic, because that means no bullet sponges, and I will jump right back in. That I can tell you. So it's nice that they haven't fully abandoned The Division, because I think it is an interesting franchise and an interesting concept and an interesting kind of gameplay loop, especially now with realism mode coming to the game. I don't know when, but I think that has been announced, or it's been teased or rumored or something. But realism mode is coming, and that's going to be fantastic, because that means no longer bullet sponge enemies, and that's going to be interesting, really interesting to the gameplay experience. So The Division 1 is a really good game, especially for a looter-shooter type like that. But now that you add in realism mode and the enemies go down in one shot, that's fantastic. So I think that's a step in the right direction, and we will definitely check that out if there are, some pretty big enhancements and improvements to The Division 1. We'll definitely check that out. The Division 2 is okay, but The Division 1 I think hits a little bit different, and especially if you add in realism mode where it takes away the bullet sponge enemies. I think a lot of people are coming back. And I said that. I said they can literally sell these games again. I literally said that when playing Ghost Recon. I literally said that when playing The Division. I said, bro, all you have to do is re-release this game. I'm serious. Re-release this game. Go to your marketing team and say, hey, we have a couple of new things that we want to add to the game. How can we push this back out to millions of players that have never played this game before, because they came out, a decade ago? The Division came out in 2016. It's 2026. It came out 10 years ago. You know how many people want to play that game that have never played it but aren't going to go back to it because it's an old game? It's got old graphics and things like that. A lot of people. So all you got to do is rehash the same game over and over and over again. And I'm not talking in a negative way, but it just at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. Look at this right here. Harry Holmes is coming through yet again. 2-time or 3-time Tony Hawk combo.
Ubisoft made good games.
Look at this right here.
Harsh out the gate. Respect what you are playing.
Yeah, well, I think the problem with a lot of the Ubisoft games is that they showed something that looked just so fantastic. You know, you look at the Watch Dogs 1 footage, the Division 1 footage, and then you play the game, and it doesn't hold up to that. And I think that was, you know, they shot themselves in the foot that way. But I think the concepts of their games are actually interesting, and I think if they can actually go back to them and reapproach them and remaster them or remake them or something like that, and, you know, the Division 3, for example, if that can be on the level of fidelity like they first showed off with the Division 1 many, many years ago, then it will be a day one purchase, absolutely. Look at this right here. Suit is coming through. It's what we love to see.
Finished night shift to join World Class and the wonderful PPA that set the atmosphere.
That's what we're talking about, setting the atmosphere, the mood, the tone, and the atmosphere. Doesn't matter. Rockstar's got, guys, nothing's happening to the release date on that game. I know you guys are doomers, and you guys are, you know, praying for the game to fail. I couldn't care less, okay? We need to see the future of gaming, and that's the only game that's going to push this medium forward, potentially. So the fact that you guys don't want to see it out and the fact that you guys are bringing up this stupid, silly crap, like, I don't care if there's 15 guys outside protesting. The game is still coming out. It's the biggest video game in the world. It's as simple as that. Nonetheless, Suit is in the building, and he's coming through hard and strong with a $10 super chat. You'll love to see it. Let's go ahead and get the lasers out yet again. Suit is coming through. We need you to lock in here today. Hit the like button, share the broadcast. The 15th of January, in 2 days, we are getting the Resident Evil Showcase, okay? And today, before the Resident Evil Showcase on the 15th, we have the dissection table. It is rolling out as we speak, and we're going to be going over to the dissection table to look at what is on the table exactly, and we need you to lock in that way. So hit the like button, share the broadcast. Let's get these Resident Evil fans in here. I know some of you guys are not banned on my channel, and I know you're watching probably elsewhere. If you're not watching, you'll get the notification somehow. And I just want you to know that you are invited in here. You are welcome if you want to, you know, stick to the topic and talk about Resident Evil. But if you're going to come back in here and start talking smack, then we're going to have to show you the door. But if you want to come in here and tag along for the Resident Evil ride and talk about the game and lock in on that game discussion, that's fine with me. And we will encourage Resident Evil 9 discussion, because that's what we're trying to get into here, as the Resident Evil Showcase is in literally 2 days. So we need you guys to start locking in in a way that makes sense. And I just put up a video on Resident Evil 9 here today. It doesn't even have 800 views because the YouTube system is so fucking trash. And the channel has problems with reach out and things of that nature, which is really sad, but you know, not much we can do. It's really out of our control. And it's not a matter of making better content. It's a matter of these parasocials have came in here, and it's a matter of streaming destroys your channel. And that's really what we wanted to prove from doing this for 6 years straight, is that streaming does destroy your channel, because 6 years ago we had more views than we do now. I'm pretty positive we really did, or at least we had more consistent viewership. And they could string together sentences back then, but now all of a sudden no one can string together sentences, and they want to sit there and go, "Oh, Michael." Well, I'm going to put "Oh, Michael" on my forehead. We're going to tattoo it on my fucking forehead. And every time you say it, we get a penny, because you guys say it a lot, so we'll be actually rich. It's as simple as that. Unreal. Hit the like button, share the broadcast. Let's go. We're not talking about remakes. We're talking about Resident Evil 9. I don't care about remakes. I'm done with remakes. I want to see something new. I want to see an original idea from Capcom. I want to see where they take this story, and, you know, how this is going to unfold. This looks more like The Evil Within, kind of that sort of thing, where it's just like you have to unsolve the mystery. You have to unsolve the events of what happened. Raccoon City has been on lockdown for 50 years after the events of Resident Evil 3. That's what it says in this game. So now you're going to be able to explore the ruins of Raccoon City. We've never been able to do that before. I think that could be an interesting approach as well. Maybe Leon S. Kennedy and the Porsche or something. There could be an open level segment. Dusk Golem said that there's not an open level aspect to this game, which, you know, if he is to be believed, then that is a little disappointing, because I wanted to see an open world Resident Evil game. But if you have a similar open level approach like you did in Resident Evil Village, where you can kind of meander a little bit, I think that would work as well. So we are going to be able to potentially explore the ruins of Raccoon City 50 years later, I believe, according to the lore. I could be wrong on that, but nonetheless, we're going to be in the ruins of Raccoon City for the very first time, and I think that's going to have a nostalgia thing. You're going to come back as Leon S. Kennedy potentially, and he'll come in, and it's going to be like Arthur Moore. I mean, really, honestly, they can really make this work in a way that makes sense, and players are going to have imagine revisiting iconic moments of the game and seeing it in this wasteland state. We've never seen that before. So that actually is interesting. I'm telling you, this game could be okay. But right now we have a lot of concerns because they're not showing off much of anything with this game. And to me, that's a little bit of a red flag. Not to mention the fact that we haven't had a demo. This is the first time, if we don't have a public demo for Resident Evil 9, the first time in 20 years that there won't be a demo for Resident Evil 9 for the public, if it is to be believed. Now, of course, that could change with the Resident Evil showcase in 2 days, but we're not there just yet. Harry Holmes is coming through yet again. Let's go. Hit the like button, share the broadcast. Get him in here. Pack him in. Let's go.
What games are you investing in the start of this year, World Class?
Well, Resident Evil 9. Resident Evil 9 is coming out February, so we're locked into that, and that's right around the corner. There could be a demo sooner. There could be a demo as soon as later this month, for all we know, or earlier in February. We don't know if there is going to be a demo. So we might have that opportunity to play it. Maybe not. I don't know, but the Resident Evil Showcase would probably unveil if there is going to be truly a demo for this game or really what's going on. But with that said, we're looking forward to that. Resident Evil 9 Requiem. We got Halloween, the video game, coming out September 8th, I believe, or September 7th, September 8th, I believe, later this year, which, of course, is a little bit away from now. But I'm sure they'll have betas or something before that because they got to test that game out before it launches. I mean, they're going to have to, obviously, hold tests and stuff like that. So there might be opportunities to play that game early and to really get a sense on whether or not it's going to be really good or what's going on. But nonetheless, we're going to check that out for the story mode, even if the multiplayer slop. Couldn't care less. I'll be there for the story mode, and I'll be there for the lore. And just, the idea of a Halloween video game, a Michael Myers video game in 2026. I mean, it's been like 40-something years since the last one came out. So, and, of course, Michael Myers has been in Fortnite, and Michael Myers has been in Dead by Daylight and things like that. But this is a whole dedicated game to the first movie, and they're going to fill in the blanks with the story mode. And I guess that's an interesting approach. I think it's kind of unnecessary and a little redundant, but we'll see how they tackle it. So Halloween, the video game, when that releases September 8th, and then, of course, November 19th, 2026, Grand Theft Auto 6. Those are the three big ones right here. So we got Resident Evil 9 Requiem, we got Halloween the video game, and we also have, of course, Grand Theft Auto 6 to end the year, and really just, we won't need to play another game after that, really, honestly. We won't need to play another video game after that. I don't know why we would ever want to. The only other game I would want to play after that is The Elder Scrolls 6, but, Todd Howard's going to take his sweet time with that, with his sweet little lies. So with that said, that's where we're at. That's where we stand. Crimson Desert, not really jumping up and down for that game, but, we'll see where that one turns out, and maybe that'll be a pleasant surprise. But for now, it's looking pretty barren here in 2026. I don't think there's anything all that interesting coming out outside of those 3 games or 4 games that we talked about just now. So there we go. So nonetheless, Resident Evil, we need you to lock in. I'm about ready to roll that dissection table out. Let's go. Get the fucking chat moving to him, motherfucking ass. I'm about ready to roll that motherfucking dissection table out, and I need you to see what's on it. The Resident Evil Showcase was literally announced last night. My jaw was on the floor because it looks kind of terrible. It looks pretty bad, but, we're going to have to see, We're going to have to see. The fact that they brought back the zombies back, they look like zombies anyway, whatever you want to technically call them, the infected or whatever they're calling this shit. D-virus, B-virus, C-virus, umbrella fucking whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Let's just call them the zombies because, that's just pretty, the common. So it seems like they brought the traditional zombies back, and that's a great sign. That's a great sign. But we don't know how long that's going to last for because if I see some other stupid-ass monster popping up out of the corner and it's really not, if it's not believable within the setting or the lore, then I'm going to start getting mad and I'm going to start turning it off, okay? Once it gets too goofy, I'm starting to wonder why we should continue to play the game. And Resident Evil 7 held off on that. You see, that's the great thing about Resident Evil 7 is that you could buy into it. You could buy into the Baker family and their residence in New Orleans and this creepy fucking thing. Like, what is going on? Nothing was really outlandish. It's like, obviously it's Resident Evil, so it's not fucking grounded or, logical by any stretch. But, you could buy into the journey. You could buy into Resident Evil 7 until the fucking creature comes alive and he's got a million tentacles. Like, that's where it gets goofy for me. So, and even the original Resident Evil 4, when they have the fucking Los Platos, whatever the fuck that bullshit's called, when they got the motherfucking shit coming out of their head, that's when the game gets dumb. They turn into dragons. I'm not interested in playing a fucking fairy tale game. You know what I mean? I think that's really ridiculous. And I hope that they have a better solution here in this game. I think Resident Evil 1 Remake did it pretty well, where the zombies actually get back up. They get back up. So instead of like fucking, tentacles coming out of their bodies, and I think they have a little bit of that actually, but it was okay, and it worked. So you had to make sure that the zombies, that you used a specific item on the zombies that were down because they could get back up and they could start running. And that meant, like, you could be fucked later on if you had to backtrack through this part of the Spencer Mansion because you needed an item or you got lost or whatever the case might have been. So you had to ensure that that was the case. And I think that was a great way to do it. But now we're in a different era. Well, motherfucking ass, they got Squidward tentacles coming out of the woodwork, and it's just like unbelievable. That we could tell you. Hit the like button, share the broadcast. And we're about ready to roll the dissection table out in a way that makes sense. And it's not what some people in here want to hear, but look, we're not Resident Evil 9 haters, okay? We're not. We're looking at it from a different lens. And if you can't accept that, then it's time to go watch all the shill channels that will eventually be ready to go. This is going to be a big one. It's going to get big views. This is going to get big views for the shill channels. It's going to get millions of views for the shills. They're going to make so much money in February, and they're going to be so happy. Because they're not only going to make so much money and get so many views, but they're in bed with Capcom as well. So it's a total win-win. They get that red carpet club exclusive access, and that's what these losers play for. All these fake Resident Evil channels are all positive. Name one Resident Evil channel that isn't positive. You can't find one. You really honestly can't find one. Can you name one Resident Evil channel that's not 100% positive on really everything that they play and see? I can't name one, and I know the small Resident Evil channels, and they're all potential shills. They're all playing to get in bed with Capcom and get early access and exclusive access so they can brag on social media about how cool they are that they got Resident Evil 9 2 weeks before you did. That's really what it's about. And it's unbelievable. So there's just so many of these Resident Evil shill channels, and they are afraid to rock the boat. They're afraid to critique it. They're afraid to talk anything negative about it because they will lose access. Capcom has me blocked. That's how professional they are. The Resident Evil Twitter has me blocked. I'm not trolling. The Resident Evil Twitter has me blocked. And I don't think they block people on occasion. I don't think they do that often. The Resident Evil channel has me blocked. I'm blocked on their YouTube as well. I have bought all of their games. And, they couldn't handle it. Really, honestly, they couldn't handle it. They have fucking blocked me on Twitter because I talked about Resident Evil 3 Remake. Meanwhile, I've never tweeted them and said that, your games are total trash, never been toxic, never interacted with that account as far as I remember. And all I did was make videos and say that, hey, this sucks. I'm sorry. It sucks. And they blocked me on Twitter. I'm blocked on Twitter from Resident Evil. They blocked me on YouTube. I can't leave comments on the Resident Evil YouTube channel. They're hidden. I'm fucking banned on there. And it's just like, well, I don't really care because, obviously, if the game is good, the game is good. I don't really care. But it's just funny how some people get so mad over fucking my opinion that they have to go and fucking block me. It's just like, wow, how fucking, they're total snowflakes. Really, honestly, I literally said Resident Evil 3 Remake is trash, and they were shilling it. I remember showing a video clip, and they were saying, well, the game looks like that because it's the Japanese version, and the Japanese version is censored. No. The fucking game turned out like that, and you guys couldn't admit it. The Resident Evil fan base is really bad, and if they do find their way in here this time around, you'll see it first and foremost. You really will. You'll see it first and foremost if they eventually can find their way in here, because all of a sudden it's a big problem for anyone outside of this little bubble to come in here and figure this out. But we live in a lazy society. They click on something and then they click on the next thing, and that's really what it boils down to. So we can't expect people to actually even fucking come over here. But hopefully for the Resident Evil Showcase in 2 days, they'll be able to figure it out and come in here, and we'll be able to react to this. Now, there is a problem with the Resident Evil Showcase because, according to Dusk Golem, it is going to be the shortest Resident Evil Showcase, I think, ever. It's only 12 minutes long. So I don't know what they're going to show in 12 minutes. But that's where the Resident Evil Showcase stands. It's 12 minutes long. I mean, I don't know why they're doing a 12-minute showcase. That seems a little weird. I mean, that's 12 minutes, sure, but I mean, what are you going to do with those 12 minutes? Are we going to see the Rumpelstiltskin monster again? Are we going to show Grace in the motherfucking corridor, Dark Corridor Mansion, or whatever the fuck we got going on in this game? Because we've already seen that to death. We've already seen the segments of Leon. Are they going to give us a 5-minute walkthrough segment of parts of the game? Is there going to be a demo announcement? Are they going to do a demo announcement this time around? Because if they don't do a demo announcement, it's the first time in 20 years that there's no Resident Evil demo for the public, which is unbelievable, to say the least. So I'm ready for the dissection table to come out here, and if you guys can't lock in, I don't know what to tell you. Here we go. Lock it in, folks. It's over. How does it feel, fake Resident Evil fans? Before we dissect, how does it feel, fake Resident Evil fans? I told you that you jumped off of the bus in Fortnite, and somehow, some way, you landed in Raccoon City. And you laughed. You sat there and said, what the fuck does Fortnite have to do with Resident Evil? I don't know. Because a couple of years after I said that, all of a sudden, they added Resident Evil to Fortnite. They added Resident Evil to Fortnite, and you can roam around as Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield and go, oh, my God. They even added the fucking herb. I mean, so cool, right? So that's what you fake Resident Evil fans deserve. You jumped off of the bus in Fortnite, and somehow, some way, you landed in Raccoon City. Well, this Raccoon City in Resident Evil 9 is going to be a little bit different, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to handle it. So it's over. You fake Resident Evil fans can cope and seethe because you're a bunch of shills. Look at this right here. As far as we know right now, and of course this could change in 24 hours, 48 hours, on the 15th of January, which is in 2 days, this Thursday. Okay, this Thursday this could change. But right now this is where it stands, and we've heard this from the horse's mouth. No public demo for the first time in 20 years. Now you make that make sense. No demo for the public for the first time in 20 years. Now they have had a playable demo at these gaming events, but you had to be there to play it. Okay? And what we've heard so far, as we know right now, is that Capcom doesn't have any plans to put out a demo for this game. They also said that Leon S. Kennedy wasn't in the game, and of course he is. Big part of the game. So with that said, were they trolling? Were they lying? We will find out very soon. If there is going to be a demo, they're probably going to announce it on the 15th, this Thursday. But right now, as it stands, if they do not release a demo, it is over, because this will mark for the first time in 20 years, if not longer than that, no public demo for Resident Evil 9. This all-new upcoming edition, Resident Evil 9 Requiem, Resident Evil Requiem, whatever the game's called. I'm calling it Resident Evil 9 Requiem because that's what most people are typing in. They're not typing in Resident Evil Requiem. So with that said, Resident Evil 9 Requiem, no public demo as we know right now, and this could of course change, but right now that's not looking too hot, and you can't help but wonder, that's a huge red flag. No public demo for the first time in 20 years. I mean, you guys need to wake up in here because it's getting ridiculous. That's unbelievable. There was a demo for these remakes, and you could argue that these remakes didn't need demos either, but they were still there. We got a Resident Evil 4 remake. We got a Resident Evil 3 remake. We got a Resident Evil 2 remake. We got a Resident Evil Village remake. We got a Resident Evil 7 remake, demo rather. We got a Resident Evil 6 demo. We got a Resident Evil 5 demo. There was even a Resident Evil 4 demo back on the GameCube. There was a demo disc for Resident Evil 2. There was a demo for Resident Evil Revelations. I mean, there has been more demos than not regarding this franchise, and seemingly, as we know right now, for the first time in 20 years, no demo for Resident Evil 9. Of course, this could change, and that could be what the Resident Evil Showcase is all about. Now, speaking of the Resident Evil Showcase, it is over. It is only 12 minutes long. And I believe the Resident Evil showcase for Resident Evil Village was like 20-something minutes long. So this is another huge red flag. Why is the Resident Evil showcase so short? And what are they going to show that's going to be possibly interesting for just 12 minutes long? You know what I mean? This is supposed to be the most ambitious Resident Evil title in terms of scope and size. They spent so long making this game. Okay, well, why are you only spending 12 minutes to showcase this? This is your final opportunity. Half of that segment is probably going to be filled with the final trailer and just a bunch of baloney where they sit there and say, hey, you can upgrade your weapons and do this, that, and the third. And it's like, well, we know it's Resident Evil. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So this is unbelievable. I mean, it really is. You guys are not listening. I'm going to GameFAQs tonight. I'm going to GameSpot tonight. I'm going to all these forums tonight, and I'm going to spam it. That's what we're going to do because you guys aren't listening, and I don't care who the messenger is. Right here's the reality of the situation. No public demo for the first time in 20 years. Resident Evil Showcase is only 12 minutes long. These are two huge red flags, and it just doesn't really make sense. You guys are not listening, and it's getting really tiring in here. We cannot have you not listening for Grand Theft Auto 6, the biggest entity in all of video. I understand Resident Evil fell off, but you know what also fell off? Your mother. She ain't spreading those legs anymore. So I don't know what you want me to fucking tell you. Because at the end of the day, it's a sad situation. Resident Evil fell off because you guys let it fall off. You guys consumed and consumed and consumed, and you never sat there and questioned the quality when you got the pitchforks out. And I knew it was over then when you guys got the pitchforks out at Chromecat because he tried to show you the reality of the situation. That's when I knew it was over. That's when I knew that you guys couldn't handle it. And that's when I knew that you guys were fake Resident Evil fans because you guys wanted to sit there and make up lies. You guys wanted to sit there and perpetuate narratives that fit what you thought and what you feel in regards to this garbage-ass demake, the Resident Evil 4 demake. Chromecat showed you the reality of the situation. You sat there and said, wait a minute, I got something to say. And it's so sad. It really is, believe me. It's a sad, sad situation. So the dissection table continues to get rolled out here. No public demo for the first time in 20 years. Resident Evil Showcase is only 12 minutes long. And this could be potentially a Resident Evil demake asset flip. They have brought back the parry mechanic, which seems like it's straight out of the Resident Evil 4 demake. And I understand that this is a smart move because you can just cut and paste, and it all just works. I'm not a game dev, so I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, obviously, that's a straightforward path in creating anything from scratch. This could be potentially nothing more than a glorified asset flip of the Resident Evil 4 demake. Now, obviously, that's a big W and a big positive for those demake fans. But my God, if we're going to see the exact same animations, here we have Leon S. Kennedy returning, a seasoned Leon S. Kennedy. He's more mature, he's older looking, this, that, and the third. And he's doing a motherfucking roundhouse kick like he's in Resident Evil 6, by the way. Can you imagine? I mean, really, honestly, a total disgrace and a total disrespect to my intelligence, really, quite frankly. It's so sad. So we got a Resident Evil 4 demake asset flip. The Resident Evil Showcase on this Thursday is only 12 minutes long. I mean, that is ridiculous. But hopefully they have 12 minutes of goodness there, because if they don't, it's going to be 12 minutes of a snooze. And right now they need to sell us on why we should really care about this game. You see a Leon S. Kennedy there. He's holding the fire axe like he thinks he's fucking Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers or some shit. I don't understand. But no public demo for the first time in 20 years. Of course, that could change, but right now that's where we stand. And this game looks like it has PS1 graphics, okay? And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you can go to my fucking post on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/MichaelDoesLife, and take a look at the post. And I took a clip of the gameplay, and it literally looks worse than Resident Evil 7. And how could that be? I mean, Resident Evil 7 came out in 2017. Resident Evil 7, literally looks better than this game. And they've changed the way the weapon looks, and the weapon, you have to look at the gameplay footage to show. So you can see what I'm talking about, but it really just looks worse. I'm not trolling. It literally just looks worse, and it's a sad situation. But you guys obviously don't care. You're looking at PS1 graphics, and obviously that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but nonetheless, it shouldn't look worse than Resident Evil 7 because that game's a PS4 game, and Resident Evil 7 came out 9 years ago. You guys are smoking something, and it's very strong if you think that this game is going to be the definitive Resident Evil experience for an original Resident Evil ride, because they've been doing these remakes and remasters and these things like that, and that's a great way for people to come back in. They think Resident Evil 4 remake, they're coming back in. They played that in 2005, they played that in 2006, they played that in 2007, they played that in 2008. They're coming back in to check it out, to see the new graphics and the new animations and all that crap. They don't clamor for quality. They're losers that are just riding off of this nostalgia wave, and they're like, oh, I remember playing that back when I was fucking on the GameCube. That shit was so fucking good. Oh my God, it's even better this time around. The graphics are so amazing. My favorite YouTuber said it was amazing. And that's what they're there for. And that's great. But how are you going to make this interesting? How are you going to make this really work? Well, they had to bring back Leon S. Kennedy and have this kind of like multi-fucking, we're going from Grace to Leon to Grace to, and it's just like, well, if this is interesting, it could work. But it seems like it's just going to be a bunch of poppycock, really, honestly. I mean, I could go to AI right now and say, hey, look, we want to reboot this franchise literally from the ground up, really, honestly. A whole clean slate here with this franchise. And really, honestly, I could have worked with a seasoned Leon S. Kennedy, a seasoned Leon S. Kennedy. And you really could have worked with that. And you could have done so much with that. You could have really made something special and something unique. And instead, they're doing this, baloney ass, like fucking chainsaw wielding, stupid ass Evil Dead bullshit. And it's just like, this is so goofy. Like, what is this? You know what I mean? It's just like, bro, Leon S. Kennedy's supposed to be older. I was supposed to, maybe expect a little bit slugger, more methodical gameplay with Leon S. Kennedy. Grace is, she's obviously, she's not as big as Leon S. Kennedy, obviously. And, she's going to be able to move around a little bit more. She can play hide and seek with the monsters and stuff like that. Okay, that makes sense. You come at motherfucking Leon S. Kennedy with a motherfucking chainsaw, and it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, what is this? Resident Evil 6 again? Pure action to keep the normies on board because they're going to get fucking bored. And it's just pathetic is really what it is. And then you got this spooky-ass villain like it's fucking Phantasm or some shit. And he's got the goddamn fucking suit on like he's in the goddamn lab with Umbrella and shit. And he just looks like a generic loser with his fucking glasses on. I swear to God, like, what are we doing? And I can't even imagine the final boss fight. I mean, I really can't even imagine the final boss fight. Actually, I can. And I'll tell you exactly how the final boss fight's going to be. It's going to be that motherfucker, stage 3, with a bazillion fucking tentacles, and you shoot the red fucking things on the fucking screen. That's really what it's going to be. And you guys are going to say, holy shit, this is so revolutionary and so amazing. And it's just like, bro, we need them to reinvent the fucking wheel here with this game. We really do. We need them to reinvent Resident Evil in a lot of ways. And obviously you have to cater and pander, and obviously you have to do fan service. But, bro, I need a new journey in this game. I really do. I need something fresh. I need something interesting. I need something that's going to bring something new to the table. And I'm certainly hoping that this is going to scratch somewhat that itch. But right now, these are the concerns right now with this game right now. No public demo for the first time in 20 years for Resident Evil. That's unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense. The showcase is only 12 minutes long. That's this Thursday. Right now, it's Tuesday. This Thursday, the Resident Evil showcase, it's only 12 minutes long. What are they going to be showcasing in that 12-minute segment? Fuck if I know. But probably a final trailer or a launch trailer or something to that extent, and possibly a demo announcement if they are going to do one. That's probably the time and place where they're going to do it if they are going to do one. Resident Evil 4 demake asset flip. Could you imagine being so excited about a Resident Evil 4 demake asset flip? Really just could never be me. But once I saw that Chainsaw Perry bullshit, it's straight out of Resident Evil 4 demake, and it's really just so sad. We got PS1 graphics, or at least way worse than Resident Evil 7. You can go take a look at the new footage in that Resident Evil showcase trailer, and you're going to have to slow it down because it goes by real quick, because they don't want you seeing anything because the game just doesn't look that great. I think graphically it just doesn't look that fantastic. Now, obviously, they're interested in the ray tracing and they're interested in the path tracing this time around and things like that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, most people are probably playing this on console. And, there's going to be obviously PC players, but I think that's a wrong direction to take this franchise and start doing that ray tracing bullshit with it. I don't think that this, pre-rendered backgrounds is really where we need to go. And I think that's at some point, that's where this thing needs to go. But it won't ever go back to pre-rendered backgrounds because they just literally can't make that game anymore. They can't make that style of game anymore. I think they literally cannot do that in the sense that the technology that we have today doesn't make it possible for that to happen. And I'm not a game dev, so I don't know how those games were created, but it just seems like it's not a thing anymore, and not because they don't want to do it. Maybe they want to do it, but because they maybe just can't. Maybe the technology allows them to not do it anymore, if that makes any sense. And maybe that's not the case, but I think at some point this game does have to go back to its roots, and I mean really honestly back to its roots, because it gets so goofy. These games are so goofy. They turn into Saints Row games where you're just roaming around like a chicken without its head. You're supposed to be playing as this, Leon S. Kennedy, by the way, this rookie cop, first day on the job and shit hits the fan. Like, it's just so stupid. And then in the Resident Evil 2 remake, they don't even like, they don't do anything with that. They don't really like play into that at all. It's just like, hey guys, I'm Leon S. Kennedy. What the? Oh my God, it's a zombie, And it's just like, you're not really selling that idea that he's the fucking first day on the job. He seems very, very fluent in everything. I mean, this guy's been on the fucking force for 15 plus years. Motherfucking veteran on the fucking police force. And it's just it's a disrespect to my intelligence. You should have had Leon S. Kennedy in Resident Evil 2 remake because you had the opportunity to reimagine the game. You could have had Leon S. Kennedy in the Resident Evil 2 remake, and you could have had him kind of get better over time, and that would have made sense because shit hits the fan. His first day on the job, all this crap, and it's just you could have played into that a lot more, and instead. They got this Justin Bieber guy that just, what the, oh my God, and that's all that is, and it's just cringe. It's just horrible. And, obviously the original Resident Evil 2 is vastly superior. Just an iconic classic game. Resident Evil 3, the original Resident Evil 3 is vastly superior, just an iconic classic game because you have the choice. And that's another thing, too, with the Resident Evil 3 remake that no one brought up, is that, you could have expanded on the choice element. And they just completely threw that out of the garden. They just threw that out. They just completely threw it out. And they could have really expanded upon that in a way that made sense, where it's just like, okay, you can pick and choose where you want this story to go. And that was unique to Resident Evil 3. And instead of expanding upon it and making it better, they just sat there and said, nah, that's not necessary. The fans won't want that. Well, who cares what the fans want? These losers are buying this shit they want anyway. So what does it matter what they want? I mean, you're already guaranteed sales. What difference does it make? When you're already guaranteed sales. The Resident Evil fans are buying anything Resident Evil on the name, they're buying it day one. They don't care about quality. They literally don't. This is a fan base that literally does not care about quality. They will not sit there. And someone seemingly shared the stream and everyone left, so God bless you on that. You probably IP banned it wherever the hell you shared it at. But we do appreciate that troops going out and doing that. And I hope they're mad because you know what? Fuck them. It's as simple as that. If they can't be bothered to come in here because I'm not Luke Steffens or, we're not these other fucking paid shills. And I swear, man, I don't know how you guys watch half of the shit on this platform. It's just like people are boring. Like, you're not seeing a guy come outside and fucking yell about video games. And that right there in and of itself is interesting. If I saw any other shill creator doing this, I would sit there and look and I'd be like, all right, maybe there's something here. I'll actually start subscribing and start actually watching the videos. But they just do the same thing over and over and over again, and they buy their way to the top. That's what they do. They buy their way to the top. You can't tell me that they don't. They buy their way to the top, and it's a sad situation. It really is. You don't need to know how to make videos. You don't need to know how to cover video games. You don't need to know any of that. You can pay someone to do it. You can outsource. It's a really sad situation, and that's all it takes. So if you got a lot of money, you can be successful on this platform in less than 6 months, easily. All I got to do is find an editor that knows how to tell a story, and fuck, we're golden. The videos will get fucking views. That's how it works. People will manually share them. And that's all it takes. So all you need is money. You want to be successful, all you need is money. Look at Taylor Swift. Her daddy bought her way into the fucking music business. That's all you need. That's all you need. It's all about the money. That's all entertainment business. You want to succeed as a musician? You got to have money. You got to pay a publicist. It's all about money. It's the same thing on this platform. You got money, you can make the best videos in the world. And if you don't know how to do it, you pay someone that knows how to do it. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. So when these sponsorships come to these corporate shills, and they get paid $5,000, $10,000 plus dollars to fucking show this shit. Motherfucking ass. That's why they get views, because they can just, it's a sad situation. Really is. It's no longer YouTube. It's fucking loser tube is really what it is. It's like, who's the biggest loser? Like that's really what it is. It's like, who's the fucking biggest loser on this platform? It's no longer about the small guy fucking turning on his webcam and ranting about shit. That used to be YouTube back in the day. No longer about that stuff. They don't want to watch that shit. The corporate, the woke mind virus has really taken over as well. The woke mind virus. I mean, these people, and it's happened with the Resident Evil franchise as well. I mean, they literally have COVID masks in the Resident Evil 4 remake, and no one wants to talk about that. Mind you, it wasn't in the first game at all. There was no masks that anyone put on. So it's just an unnecessary thing to include, and obviously it was convenient timing with COVID and things like that. So obviously that's what it was. They thought it was a fashion statement, and they put in the COVID masks, and it's unbelievable. I mean, it's woke. It's literally the woke mind virus. I mean, you got people that are they have the woke mind virus in Japan as well, and it's just like, what does this mean? I don't know, but it means that the games are boring and they're sterile. Who wants to play Resident Evil Village again? No one. Who wants to play Resident Evil 7 again? Not many people. So, there's a reason why people play the classics. When they think of Resident Evil, they think of the classics. They think of the great games. They're not thinking of the modern games. In 15, 20 plus years, no one's going to go back to the remakes and say that those were amazing. They're freaking dead games. They're trash. I mean, they really are garbage. They are made to service the audience that's in the now with this franchise. And the boomers that don't care about quality because they don't have time to care about quality, they're 45 years old, they're 50 years old. They don't care about these games anymore, because why would they? I can't blame them. But, at the end of the day, when you don't have anyone speaking up against the lack of quality, I mean, this is the garbage that you get, just a bunch of soulless slop thrown at your face. And, they make it look cool and interesting, and then you play it, and you're just bored you're just bored within 3 hours of playing it. And I certainly hope that that's not the case here with this game, because it's just like, wow, we need the puzzle piece to get through the door, and it's just like, how many times do we want to do this again? And it's just like, my God, when are they going to reinvent the wheel here for Resident Evil 9 Requiem? And this is it. This is it. Like, I don't need Resident Evil 10. I don't need Resident Evil X or whatever they call the freaking game, because they'll have some dumbass name for that game. They will. They'll have some dumbass name for Resident Evil, Resident Evil X or some shit, and fucking, someone's coming back in that game because they got to make some money, Jill Valentine or some shit, even though she's not popular. Well, they'll have someone back, probably Leon S. Kennedy back again. I mean, Jesus Lord, if he doesn't go the way of The Last of Us Part 2 in this game, which it seems like that might be the case. They might be having a knee-jerk reaction here in Resident Evil 9, and you take over as Claire. Not Claire, but you take over as Grace. Because Leon might, they might want to try and make a damn point in this game. And the Resident Evil fans, I mean, these people play VR chat all day. They're fucking total losers, totally online, 24/7. I'm serious. I mean, these Resident Evil fans are really not the most productive bunch. And it's really sad, but because I've dealt with them for years and years and years, they're really peculiar people. Let me tell you that. That's one thing we can say about them. And I'm not saying there's all bad eggs, but they just have seemingly a lot of free time, and it's just not great, because they don't know what quality is, that I can tell you. So that's why they have to come over to World Class, because we will give them the dissection table, and we will show them the reality of the situation, whether or not they want to see it. Because, we're in a sea of shills, and they can't handle it. They can't handle it. It's a sad situation, that we can tell you. You don't care. I have to get the Resident Evil fans in here. If the big test is this Thursday, okay? The big test is this Thursday. I want to see this chat, and I want to see it moving. I want to see a lot of people in here. Not just the regulars that can barely type it, they can barely type in here. And I'm not going to name names, but I've seen someone else somewhere else, and my God, can they chat. Should we call it out? Is that inappropriate for me to call it out? Is it none of my concern? It's probably best we don't talk about it. But when you act differently elsewhere on the World Wide Web than you do in here, I start to feel disrespect, because you're going to start to discriminate because my eyeballs look different, because you think I'm retarded. Well, how am I retarded when I get more viewers than your fuck buddy? You know what I mean? Your fucking butt buddy that you guys love. You're like, oh, yeah, his content is so good. Well, then go watch him. Don't ever come over here again. I don't care. But when you can't come over here and string together a sentence because you got no personal feelings or emotions on these games, then I don't know how I'm supposed to run the show, because it wasn't like this back in the day. I said Ghost of Tsushima sucked. Motherfuckers were calling in left and right. Motherfucking ass had opinions. I mean, they had a stance. And that's one thing I can say about, times have changed. It's been 6 years since that game came out, so, they care less and less about video games. I don't care. You guys grew out of video games. It's time to move on. You're done. Your time is up, and, you're a boomer now. Welcome to the club. It sucks. I hate to say it, but it sucks. You're a fucking boomer. It's as simple as that. You're going to have to admit it. Gaming isn't dead. You are. Your soul is. I mean, your inside is. You got a black heart. I don't know. Figure it out. Look up at the sky and the sky's blue. That's fantastic. I don't know what to tell you. Gaming isn't going to save you. I'll tell you that right now, because you guys hamper every game. Every game that comes out, you think it's trash. Every game and it's just, well, I mean, that might be true, but it's just like, what can we say more than that? We can't say too much more than that. You guys have nothing to say, and I can't. I mean, we cannot have this conversation. We cannot come out here and talk to a seemingly brick wall when you guys can't say why the game sucks. You guys can't say why I'm wrong. You guys can't dispute any of this shit because you don't care. I'm going to start talking about all of your favorite games, and I'm going to just spam the shit out of these videos and say, this game fucking sucks. And if you don't like it, great. Come on in and tell me why I'm wrong. It's as simple as that. And if you can keep it civil, we'll entertain it. But if you're going to completely, totally insult and go below under the belt and start talking about eyeballs and teeth and all this other crap, well, then that's not talking about the video game. That's a ban. So you have to understand how to debate the game without coming in here and acting like a stupid idiot. It's really that simple. Unbelievable. All they want to do... Oh, Ada Wong, by the way. Oh, Lord. No, I don't think Ada Wong, I don't know if she's going to be in the game. We don't need more Ada Wong. That's boring. We've already seen that in the Resident Evil 4 remake, and that was terrible. So we don't need more of that baloney right there. We'll do Grace, we'll do Leon, and we'll see where this goes. But man, oh man, when this one turns south, and it will quick. Oh man, we're going to have to turn it off. If I see monsters with tentacles coming out, motherfucking ass, I don't know what to tell you. We're going to have motherfucker turn that off. You guys are not listening. 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 This guy says, what the fuck am I watching? Well, you're an incel. I mean, you're literally a peanut. You have a peanut. You are in special education classes. If you can't sit down and listen to what someone is saying, you have a mental disability. No, I'm serious. You do. Like you literally have a mental disability, and I hope that you can get help for that. Look at this right here. Harry Holmes is coming through. Harry Holmes is in the building. It's what we love to see. Let's go. Come on in. Woo! Who's the real Resident Evil fan? Come on, homie. Shut your bitch ass up. Yeah, she wasn't even around when the fucking Resident Evil 1 remake came out. Now let's see what Harry Holmes has to say. Harry Holmes is in the building with a 10. He says, have you seen the next Assassin's Creed? It's about witches, and its madness looks like the Witcher series. No, I haven't seen that. The next Assassin's Creed series, it's about witches. Well, that could be interesting. I don't know what they could do there. I guess you go to Halloween Town or something. There's motherfucking witches boiling shit in the pot or something. I don't know. Unbelievable. Yeah, we'll have to see what that entails in a way that makes sense. We're not talking about other streamers. If you're so obsessed with other streamers, then why weren't you in there last night? Because I was actually in there, and I put a comment in his stream, and no one reacted. So I thought, man, my viewers are so obsessed with you. Why aren't they watching? And motherfucking ass, I didn't see any of you over there. And I know that popped up on the screen because he's got the chat on the screen. So I know he didn't fucking have me banned. Unlike Capcom. Capcom got me banned. I'm banned on the motherfucking Resident Evil 2. I'm banned on the motherfucking Resident Evil 2. YouTube channel, I'm banned on the Resident Evil YouTube channel. I'm banned on the Resident Evil Twatter. And that's because the person that runs it is, that person has disabilities. I mean, it's very evident. So, if they're going to get, that's very unprofessional. I don't know why that person's in the position that they're in, but They have disabilities, very evidently. I mean, if they can't like, can you imagine? I make a YouTube video and I say your game sucks. A multi-million-dollar corporation's going to get offended. Like, holy shit, you got unprofessional people running it. I mean, you really do. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, bro, what are you guys smoking? I mean, it's obviously very strong. We don't need fantasy. We're not, we don't need fantasy. I'm here talking about Resident Evil, and that's why we're going to have the TTS to $50 when GTA 6 comes out. So if you want your message to play out, it's going to be about $50 because it's just like we're not doing off topic. I'm not doing off topic when you guys want to steer the conversation and derail it and try and talk about this game and try and talk about that game, and it's like, nope, not for Grand Theft Auto 6. It's not happening. I couldn't care less. We are locking in on that game, and that's it. So if you want to come through and talk about another game, it's going to cost you $50. I mean, that's what we're going to raise it to because of off-topic bullshit like that, or just a bunch of spam fucking comments like that, where it's just like, bro, I'm here talking about Resident Evil. We're here talking about this. We're here talking about that. Like, I mean, we're not doing an off-topic fucking discussion here. I mean, we're trying to lock it into Resident Evil, and I don't care if you don't care. You manually clicked on this. No one forced you to click on this. It doesn't autoplay in front of your face. You made the choice to come in here, and that's how it works. There's no other way you can watch this video other than you clicking on it or tapping on the screen. There's literally no way that you can come in here unless you manually come in here, so don't act like you're the fucking victim in here when you fucking chose to participate and come in here and start watching, because no one forced you to come in here, and you can leave at any point in time. So if you're not interested in Resident Evil, that's too bad, because we're in Resident Evil season right now. The Resident Evil Showcase is coming this Thursday. It's as simple as that. The Resident Evil Showcase is coming this Thursday, and it's cold out here. It's 46 degrees Fahrenheit, but I mean, I think it was warmer yesterday. We could tell you. It's not an off-topic channel. It's that simple. We're here to lock in. And if you guys can't follow World Class throughout these different video games that are releasing, then we can't help you. You guys literally watch this show on a yearly basis, and you still can't figure it out. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I guess we're just too damn fucking good because you can't seemingly understand. I speak English, and I assume you do as well, and maybe you don't. But I don't know. I can't help you. You know, you have to go service yourself. Because fuck, not your Dr. Phil. You're going to have to figure it out. I'm tired of it. Okay? It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. You guys cannot have an opinion on this game. Well, I hope the normies come in here in 2 days and overshadow everyone in here. I really do. I hope the normies come in here and flood the fucking chat and actually talk about the fucking game. Because that's what we're looking for. If they can't be bothered to come in here for the Resident Evil Showcase, which is coming this Thursday, then we're going to have problems when the game comes out because, they're going to be, I'm too busy playing it. That's the first excuse. I'm too busy playing it. Or I'm going to watch someone else play it because, they actually have a positive opinion on this game. I can't wait for the Rad Brad to upload his fucking video. And it's just like, okay, dude. Then go watch him. I don't know. The guy's a legend. I don't know what to tell you. Go watch him, man. I don't know what the fuck. Like, it's just, it's utterly ridiculous. You guys should be coming in here for World Class's perspective on this shit, and you just don't care. But if it's any other reviewer, my God, you're glued to the fucking screen. What did this guy think about this game? What did that guy think about that game? I mean, motherfucking ass. Like, where's the World Class treatment here? Look at this right here. Harry Holmes is coming through yet again. Carrying the show, carrying the broadcast here today.
Resident Evil 4 was great because it was hard but good at the same time, best in the series.
Yeah, gameplay-wise, replayability-wise, Resident Evil 4, the original, absolutely. And when the video drops, it's going to be fantastic. And it's going to be dropping at a great time, too. Great time there. And Resident Evil 4, the original, is a timeless classic. We could start a new game right now and we can get locked in because there's just so many playthroughs. There's so many ways you can kind of approach your upgrade system and kind of what you kind of want to do with your the things, the items and stuff that you have in your case and stuff like that. And it's just the upgrade system is simple, but it's one of the best that they've ever done in a game. And so many other games get it wrong because they try and do it and try and make it too complex and too sophisticated. And nobody's got time for all that stuff. So the Resident Evil Merchant, and they're going to have the Merchant back up in here, but it just doesn't hit the same in these games. I'm telling you, like the upgrade stuff, there's just too much garbage going on. There's too many bells and whistles and all this crap, and it's just like, bro, the upgrade system in Resident Evil 4 is great because it's simplistic. It's great because it works, and it's just unbelievable. Let's see here. No demo, no buy. Well, we don't. I mean, Capcom has literally said that there will not be a demo, but they also said that Leon wouldn't be in the game either. So I don't know if that guy was pulling chain or playing possum or what was going on there. But obviously, if there is going to be a demo, I'm going to assume that we will probably get an update on Thursday here, which of course we will be live for the Resident Evil Showcase, which is 12 minutes long, by the way. So the Resident Evil Showcase is this Thursday. It's 12 minutes long. If there is going to be a demo, it's probably going to be announced. And you would assume that Capcom would want to do a demo to boost pre-orders for this game, or at least a time-limited demo or something like that, to boost pre-orders for this game like they've done in the past for previous titles. And that would make sense, but at the same time, it's just like, well, if you don't have any interesting gameplay in this demo, I honestly think it could backfire because people are kind of bored of this freaking monster hide-and-seek bullshit that they've been doing since fucking Outlast 1, and if not even before that, where you just run from the monster, and then you go hide, and then you go back, and then it comes out again, and it's just tiring. We've already, Alien Isolation, one of the most overrated internet darling games out there, definitely in the top 5. Alien Isolation is a snooze fest. The alien is so dumb, and the AI in that game is so trash that it's not even funny. It's just like, what are you seeing in this game? I've played the game, and I've never seen anything where I thought, wow, that's actually cool. Like what are we exactly shilling in this game? I can't even see what you guys like. Okay, maybe you're a big fan of the Alien franchise. Well, I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know. But I can put that aside and say, well, okay, there's a giant fucking alien coming out. It's spooky, it's scary. Okay, but that's fun for about 30 minutes or an hour, and then after that, it's just like, well, the AI for the alien is supposed to be so revolutionary and so mind blowing, right? Okay, well, show me one example in the game where that actually plays out, where the alien actually fucks with you. I want a game where the alien can train from your player behavior and what you're doing. So much to a point where it's just like the alien starts playing mind games. Like it just starts fucking with you. And it doesn't do that in the game. The game's trash. It's really one of the most overrated survival horror games in the last 10 or so years. I mean, it's really bad. It's a slog. It's way too long. It's repetitive. Alien Isolation, poop. That's what it is. I mean, it's really nothing more than shit on the bottom of my shoe. I'll tell you that right now. It's boring. I mean, it's just junk. The AI, the AI is supposed to be revolutionary in the game, the alien, and I've never seen any of that. I have the game. I've never seen any of that crap. It's boring. It's really just a boring game. I don't understand why you guys have such a fascination with the game. Show me one gameplay example where I can boot the game up and I can start looking at it and saying, wow, this is actually interesting, and this is actually interesting enough to say, okay, well, maybe I see what you guys are saying, but I'm not seeing any of that stuff in the game. There's nothing revolutionary about it at all. And they said there was some rumors that Dusk Golem said that there's going to be multiple. This Resident Evil game is going to be more dynamic than ever before. I believe that's what he said, or something to that extent. And if that is true, that is going to be interesting, where things maybe play out differently, and maybe Capcom isn't truly showing that off just yet. And that's what we need. We really need something that is going to play out differently every time, because that's the problem with these games, is that they're built for speedrunners. And let me not get started on that, because man, oh man, we'll have a big rant on that. But speedrunning is really the bottom of the barrel. I think it's really some talentless loser-ass shit to brag about how you got a great time in a video game. I mean, really, that's some fun. Now, if you want to show me your Wii Fit results and you want to show me you losing 20 pounds, that's fantastic. I'll applaud that, and I'll say, all right, well, that's a different ballgame. Or if you want to play Rocksmith and learn how to actually play songs on the real guitar, that's a different ballgame. But if you're going to sit around and play these fucking fantasy games and try and get the game beaten under 3 hours, that's not interesting to me. That just shows me how big of a fucking loser you are. And, I can't resonate with that. But the problem is with some of these Resident Evil games, and actually all of these Resident Evil games, is that they get so bored of the game that they have to start speed running through it, and that to me is a disgrace. If I were working on a game, and this chat needs to wake up, otherwise I'm wrapping it up. Okay, if you're going to say you disagree, you need to tell me why you disagree, and as such, you didn't, so we'll get you timed out. Because you're just spamming the chat. That's all you said. That's all that is spam. You can't say you disagree. That's a blanket statement. You can't say you disagree. That's not moving the conversation forward. You literally gave me nothing. All you wanted to play is Defiant. I disagree, by the way. Why do you disagree? You can't tell World Class why you disagree. If you don't want to talk, then go watch the videos. You come in here, you got to start talking. There's no point to do this if I'm going to come out here and not talk to people that are watching on the other end. You don't understand what this is, and I don't think you ever will get it because you don't do it. You guys are losers. Jeez. Figure it out. It is a communication vessel in the moment. I mean, it's a rare thing, especially with AI and all this other stuff. Less people are doing this. You're getting AI slop thrown at you left and right. Motherfucking ass, what are you talking about? It's a very unique moment for us to come together, whether it's virtual or not. This is what we're doing. If you can't accept it, go fuck yourself. Sick and tired of it. This Resident Evil 9 is going to be the best-selling Resident Evil game. I don't believe that. But we shall see. We shall see. I think it is number one on the PlayStation Store right now. But that's nothing new. I mean, of course they're going to consume. I already told you. They're not clamoring for quality. They're not clamoring for quality. When is the showcase? The showcase is this Thursday. If you ask it again, you will be banned.
At Harry Holmes 4,000.
Harry Holmes is plowing through yet again. Harry Holmes is plowing through yet again. Get him out of here. Holy shit.
Made for low IQ.
Fake Resident Evil fan forget how bad Resident Evil 5 was. Oh, it's a terrible game. It's for losers. I never even beat that game. It's garbage. Yeah, I don't play that. Can you imagine? Here's the problem with Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 sucks is because they just came off of Resident Evil 4. They came off of Resident Evil 4, which is such an iconic classic game. And then they do this like stupid ass like fucking Chris Redfield pro wrestler type shit, punching boulders, and it's just like a dumb game. Constant fucking co-op. Game's trash. I mean, it really is. It's junk.
$5. IDK man, I never was a huge Re fan, but Re 4 Remake was the best game I played in 2023.
Oh,
Maybe
Lord.
it's because I've never touched the OG RE4
before it. Oh, man. Well, I certainly believe that has a lot to do with it, because if you play the original while you were growing up, or even when it came out, or close to when it came out, I think it would, I mean, I don't know. I don't ever want to play the remake again. I mean, I don't need to play those games ever. Just like Arc Raiders, I don't need to play that game ever again. I mean, we've already seen enough of that game, and it's just a sad situation. But luckily, Resident Evil 9 is right around the corner. We don't have to play the remakes anymore because those are, in the past, and now we're looking forward to the present, and this is what Resident Evil is providing, and that's Resident Evil 9. Did we get the lasers out or no? Let's go. Resident Evil Showcase is this Thursday. Let's go. Resident Evil Showcase is this Thursday. I need 300 plus viewers, so we are in need of about 100 more viewers for this Thursday for the Resident Evil Showcase. We will be going live earlier for that as we anticipate the showcase. And hopefully there's a demo drop or announcement because we want to check this game out before we consume the garbage. And right now there's no sign of a demo coming, but that could change because they obviously lied about Leon S. Kennedy not being in the game as well. It's as simple as that. The Resident Evil Showcase is only 12 minutes, and I believe the Resident Evil Village Showcase was like 20 minutes or so. I don't care. I'm not here to discuss the remake. We'll have that. We'll have another opportunity to discuss the remake again when that time comes, and it's going to be glorious. Let me tell you. But right now we're locking into Resident Evil 9 because that's what is right now in the now. I mean, it's as simple as that. Let's go, guys. We need to get you guys to have opinions on stuff, okay? We can't have you guys come in here with blanket statements about, well, you know, Michael, I'll lock the show, W. Yeah. It's like, well, that doesn't drive the conversation. I need people in here debating with each other on video games. I want someone to say, you know what, I disagree with this guy in here, and I think he's wrong about this game. And that's how this show used to be. People were debating fucking video games in here just within the chat. Now they can't be bothered to do that because they hate every fucking video game, or they either like every video game. I said Ghost of Yote is a fun game. I said the open world is just presenting content. It's presenting missions to me in ways that we've never seen before. And they sat there and said, well, the actor or the actress said something about Charlie Kirk, and that didn't agree with her politics, and somehow that meant that, you know, they can't like the game because they don't agree with the people that made it. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Eric is in the building. It's what we love to see. Let's go. Figure it out. Blanket statements are banned. Blanket statements we're going to start banning blanket statements in here. If you guys can't have anything to say, then I don't know what to tell you. It's a sad situation. You're going to be left behind this Thursday. It's as simple as that. The whole chat will be left behind this Thursday because you guys got nothing to say. Someone will have something to say in here, and they're going to be reacting to the Resident Evil Showcase, 12 minutes of it. It's as simple as that. Eric is in the building, and he's coming through. Start waking up. It's cold out here. This is the last time we're going to be come out here on this bench for quite some time because the weather's going to get real cold, and we're not coming out here when it's fucking cold. It's just not going to happen. And it's already cold out here, but it could be a lot colder than I could tell you. Oh, my God. It's ridiculous. Come on, let's go. Resident Evil. I'm going to start fucking banning, okay? GTA 6 is coming out in 310 days. I need you guys to lock in or get left behind. They will come in here and they will put their ass on the bench and they will say it's my spot. And you're either going to reclaim your spot or you're going to sit the fuck down and say, you know what, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. That's what you're going to be able to do. You know, it's really that simple. Oh, my God. Figure it out. You guys are on the internet all day bitching about politics, arguing about shit 24/7. You come in here and it's like this woke-ass safe space. Motherfucking ass. We're here to fucking debate about video games. Look at Lucia's ass right there. Debate about that. I don't fucking know. Figure this shit out. Eric is in the building and he's coming through. He's getting locked in a way that makes sense. It's what we love to see. Two-time Tony Hawk Cowboy. Eric is in the building and he's coming through. It's what we love to see. Eric is plowing hard and strong. Two-time Tony Hawk Cowboy. It's what we look at this. We got Grace right down here. We got Grace right wherever the hell. Look at that right there. We got Grace right there. She's ready to go in action. Yeah, she go fight the zombies in this game. It's gonna be so amazing, so amazing. Strong and independent. Fantastic. Leon S. Kennedy's gonna probably get injured early on in the game or some shit like that. She's gonna pick up his weapon and carry the sword. Resident Evil 4. Shut your bitch ass up. Y'all gonna sit here and fucking shill D-makes, man. Like, I swear, you don't watch Crowcat's videos. I mean, you really don't. When I watch them, it's an epiphany. When I was out here watching the fucking Dead Rising video, my jaw was on the floor. While everyone else was in here going, oh my God. No, it's not an oh my God situation. This is the end of the gaming industry, and you're not understanding. You're not looking at it in a way that makes sense. Harry Holmes is coming through yet again. Let's go. Harry Holmes is coming through yet again. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Pump it up. Let's go.
26 or early
it's cold out here.
Interesting as it coming after to 6.
The next Assassin's Creed called Hexagon is coming late 2026, early 2027. Yeah, well, good luck. I mean, after GTA 6, every game needs the best luck it can possibly have. Every game needs the best luck it can possibly have. Because ain't nobody playing Assassin's Creed in 2027 or 2028 when GTA 6 is out. And it's going to take you a long time to get bored of GTA 6, I can tell you that. There ain't no doubt about it.
At Imposter
Let's
Boy
go.
Super chatted $1.99. Is Ethan's daughter returning in RE9? She has to.
I don't care. This is a different storyline, I believe. I don't know. I certainly hope not. So we got Nick Hogan coming through. Look at this right here. A lot of people coming through the pipeline. They can't even catch up. Let's go. Hit the W button. Hit the like button. Share the broadcast. We need Resident Evil Requiem fans in here because this Thursday, the 15th, we are going to be reacting live to the Resident Evil showcase. I need huge W's in here. I need you guys to start locking in in a way that makes sense. Let's go. Eric is in the building and he's coming through yet again. Nick Hogan. Look at this right here. It's Nick Hogan. Nick Hogan's hitting the Bears.
Saying Crimson Desert is twice the size of Skyrim and The Witcher 3.
I already know who said that. Really? That's all it takes for you guys to get so excited? A big open world, by the way. Oh, Lord, that's a huge... That sucks. I don't want a big open world. Now, if Crimson Desert, if you can get a job in the game, if you know, they were shilling that Chinese where winds meet game, and they said that was that that I needed to play that game because it's the open world that I've dreamt of, and maybe we do need to check it out, but we don't need a big open world full of nothing to do in it because Red Dead's already got that problem. And there's just nothing to do in these open world games. I mean, you just roam around a fucking empty forest, and it's boring. That's what we're talking about. Eric is in the building. The lasers are working overtime here. We got 3 or 4 lasers here for the folks coming through. Eric is coming through yet again, coming through in a way that makes sense. You'd love to see it. Nick Hogan's in the building. How about them Bears? Bears down, homie. Oh, shit. And it's going to be a cold one. Nick Hogan in the building. We gotta wrap this up. It's colder out here today than it was yesterday. I'm not trolling. The sun's gone. There's no sun anymore. We got to wrap this up pretty soon here. We've been live for 2 hours.
At Noel Tomba 1306 super chatted £4.99. I've heard about the complaints for Leon's movement because of his age. It's rumored that he's enduring an infection increasing his strength and speed.
Yeah, I don't know about any of that. I think that's a little... I never heard anything about that, but we'll see. Maybe that explains it. I don't know. Because no one was complaining about any of that stuff except for me, really, so... I don't know if that's true or not. But we'll have to see. Obviously, there's going to be a gimmick for this game. There's no essays in the chat. We have robots that take care of that. So, and if so it'll get cleaned up automatically if they spam fucking novels because we're not. It's not Dear Diary in here. I mean, it's really not. We got a posture coming through yet again. Let's go.
The third act Biolab tentacle slop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't need any of that anymore because it's a sad situation that we could tell you. Let's go. Hit the like button, share the broadcast. We're going to come back to the dissection table here, and look at this right here. Big-time support. We can't even keep up. Holy motherfucking shit. Big-time support. We can't even keep up. It went from low support yesterday with no one coming through. Can't handle Grand Theft Auto 6 discussion, but my, oh my, they like this zombie slop. And I just can't wait to play this garbage-ass demo if it does exist. To just be totally bored of it, but we'll see. We got Dr. Hannibal plowing through. He's coming through, and he's coming through in a way that makes sense. It's getting cold out here.
12 minutes showcase.
Oh.
Inhales I don't feel it re-sisters.
Oh, Lord.
I will save my money to GTA 6.
You might as well just save for GTA 6 because, I mean, and once the demo drops, if there is a demo, if they are thinking of having a demo for this game, I mean, you'll be able to tell whether or not it's going to be good or really what's going on with this game. But, I mean, it's just like, bro, we just played the Resident Evil 4 remake 2 years ago. We played the Resident Evil 3 remake. We played the Resident Evil 2 remake. We played Resident Evil Village. We played Resident Evil 7. I mean, if the game is just like the exact same thing as those games, I just can't stay interested for long. It gets boring so quick. It gets boring really, really quick. So this, like I said, exploring the ruins of Raccoon City as Grace or maybe Leon or who the fuck you play as, that could be interesting if they. But if I'm flying around, if I'm roaming around the ruins of Raccoon City, let's say it's an open level segment, maybe it's not. I don't know what they're going to do. But like, bro, what are the zombies going to look like? I mean, what are the enemies going to look like? Because that's a big component for me. If the enemies are so goofy in this game, we're turning it off. I don't need a bunch of fucking, I mean, it's really not that hard to make this game good. But if they got wacky ideas, then quite frankly, it's just not going to work. I got DM some horrible things today. Yeah, well, they're terrible people. I don't know.
At Imposter Boy Super
They're
chatted
horrible people.
$1.99.
Oh, Lord.
Resident Evil should have died after 6. It's new.
It's
swap.
unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's a sad situation. Look at this. I mean, we can't even keep up. I'm about ready to wrap this up. This temperature, it's got to be colder out here today than yesterday. It was 38 degrees Fahrenheit. It says 45 right now. Motherfucking ass. It is colder out here today with that wind, and there's no sun now. We're going to have to wrap this up shortly here, I'll tell you. Oh, my God. Harry Holmes in the building, plowing through. Imposter coming through. It's a sad situation. We got the Resident Evil Showcase this Thursday. We need you to lock in on that. The Resident Evil Showcase.
At Harry Holmes 4,576 super chatted £10. Witcher 4 can suck one as well, coming in 27 after Witcher 3 sucks so much, who cares?
Yeah, well, The Witcher 4 is going to be irrelevant because GTA 6 will have released by then, and no one's going to play CD Projekt Red and their wannabe RPGs and things like that. I mean, honestly, that's where it's going to be. So GTA 6 is going to change gaming forever. This is like the asteroid coming in and making the dinosaurs extinct. That's what GTA 6 is. And you can't see that right now, and you don't want to see that right now, but no one's playing any of these other games. The only games that will survive are the massive games that are free to play and accessible and still popular. So for several years, like Fortnite and things like that, Call of Duty will survive. Battlefield won't. None of these games are going to survive the comet. I mean, this is going to be the way that the dinosaurs, they got extinct because of the comet, right, or something, or whatever theory they got going on for the dinosaurs. Motherfucking ass. This is what Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to do to the games industry. If you are working on Wolverine right now and you are in charge of saying, hey, when does this game come out? Well, Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out November 19th, 2026. Wolverine is slated to come out that same kind of time frame, fall 2026. You can't release that thing after GTA 6 launches, and you certainly can't release it that close to the launch of GTA 6 because more people are going to be excited for Grand Theft Auto 6 than playing fucking Wolverine. So you have to pace that accordingly. If you are a video game maker, if you're a video game publisher, I mean, it's the whole industry is held hostage right now by Grand Theft Auto 6. Whether you like it or not or disagree with it or not, I couldn't care less. That's why these games are coming out immediately, as soon as possible, and that's why Death Stranding 2 had to get rushed out. That's why Battlefield 6 had to get rushed out, because Battlefield 6, if it didn't launch last fall, it certainly wouldn't have launched this fall because it would have died immediately, and it's already dead anyway. But nonetheless, I mean, you have a situation here where these games have to come out before Grand Theft Auto 6, because even if they come out after Grand Theft Auto 6, it doesn't matter because Grand Theft Auto 6 is likely a two-wave program, and what that means is that Grand Theft Auto Online will come out after the initial launch of Grand Theft Auto 6. So you have two waves, and they're massive waves, and nothing is going to compete or be able to retain player attention and anything like that at all, by any stretch of the imagination. So there will be a different industry after Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm not trolling, and I'm not. You're not understanding. I mean, you're just not understanding. If Rockstar can develop an open world game where you can vicariously live in Vice City, and it's believable more so than ever before, and you can roam around, and you can do all of this stuff, it's fully immersive, you're not understanding. No one's going to want to play anything else. And I just don't understand how you can't wrap your head around that. But when they get back up on their throne, if they still have any of that left in them, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Think of Red Dead 2, but think 10 times bigger and 10 times better. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, honestly, GTA 6 is going to change video games forever. I mean, there's going to be a before Grand Theft Auto 6 and an after Grand Theft Auto 6. And good luck to anyone launching their game after Grand Theft Auto 6. It's as simple as that. Good luck, because it's over. Your game is not going to be played. Yes, The Witcher 4 fans will be there for The Witcher 4, but guess what is going to be the number one game? It's going to be motherfucking Grand Theft Auto 6, that I can tell you. So why would I want to play another basketball game when I have basketball in Grand Theft Auto 6 with the Euphoria engine? Answer me that. Why would I want to play another skateboarding game when I have potentially skateboarding in Grand Theft Auto 6 with the Euphoria engine? Answer me that. That's what I'm saying. It's putting these games to shame. It's putting these games. Let's go. Super chatted £10.
GTA 6 will be the biggest game of all time. Rockstar have a big W. They are the kings of
The
open
thing is,
world.
these Zoomers in here
America's
are in their
emoji.
early 20s. They were not there for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They were not there for Grand Theft Auto 4. They were not there for Grand Theft Auto 5. They have no idea. I was there for the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5. I have the keychain. It's probably worth $50. The fucking line was out the fucking wazoo. Okay? And that was back when people stopped going to fucking midnight launches back in 2013 even. It was kind of like a thing in the past even by then. So motherfucking ass, you haven't seen shit. They will be camping out at GameStop if there is a physical release for this game. You will see it return, and you doomers in your basement who are too afraid to get outside are going to be left behind. Go fuck yourself. It's as simple as that. We're doing a whole documentary on Grand Theft Auto 6. I know talented people, and they can get the job done. Go fuck yourself. It's as simple as that. We're going to have the best content ever for Grand Theft Auto 6. Because if we can get views and we can get support, we're going all in. It's as simple as that. It's not hard to figure out, and I think those will come. Because why wouldn't they? They want to see world classes. You know, we're big on open world games. Watch Dogs 2 is going to be hard to dethrone in a lot of areas, and I think, this is the only game that's going to have that opportunity to potentially dethrone Watch Dogs 2, because when I walk around Watch Dogs 2, what Ubisoft did is they don't have schedules on NPCs. Nothing is actually living and breathing in the game outside of maybe a couple of systems. But with that said, what's ultimately happening is that they're selling the believability of San Francisco very well. So as I stroll through San Francisco, they're selling the believability of these NPCs inhabiting San Francisco. It's as simple as that. And not only that, but they have the reaction system built on top of it too. So if you get your phone out in the game, think about this. No other game's done this, not even Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2, you can get a camera out. And I was going to make a video, kind of like Crobecat, to showcase, no one cares, 200 views, to showcase the reality of the situation. You get your camera out in Red Dead 2. Mind you, it's 1889 or some shit, because, like, who's going to hold a fucking camera up in someone's face back then? Like, that's not going to happen. So it would already be kind of, like, fucking bizarre, right? That it's not an everyday thing where someone's holding a fucking camera and putting it in someone's face in 1889. They're still not doing that in 2026 here. But nonetheless, you do that in the game and there's no reaction. The NPCs don't react. Most detailed video game of all time, by the way. I can make 50-plus videos on why Red Dead Redemption 2 sucks. Easily. There's so many problems with the game. But it goes against the narrative, and you cannot go against the herd. You cannot go against the herd. So that's why we don't do it. Because in Watch Dogs 2, if you pull out your camera, they will react to your camera. They will react to your camera. If you get in a fist fight in Watch Dogs 2, someone else will take a picture. They do that a little bit in GTA 5 rather, but this is where the next level comes in. GTA 6, the NPCs are going to be filming things dynamically throughout the game world. If Rockstar cannot implement that, then they have failed. Okay? I don't care what your theory is on the fucking system. I know Rockstar is going to try and go crazy with it. They're going to try and get autistic with it, and that's what we need, because no other game developer is going to do that. So you can say, oh, it's just a reskin of Strangers and Freaks missions and stuff like that, and maybe it is, which would be really disappointing. But I think it is a little bit more than that. And if they have truly a living, breathing world in this game, you're talking about a game that is going to make every other video game obsolete. An unlimited content game. I mean, really, honestly, you're talking about something that could easily be the most next level video game I've ever made.
576 super shattered £10. GTA 4 is underrated. Yes, the maps it's small, but the city suits the game. The driver was different but very realistic.
GTA 4 is Harry Holmes is in the building. He's coming through yet again. GTA 4 is underrated. Yes, the map is small, but the city suits the game well. The driver was different but very realistic. I agree. And I think GTA 4, Liberty City sets the mood, the vibe, the tone, and the atmosphere for the story and the American dream of Nico Bellic and things like that. And it's a depressing game, but that's why it's remembered. Although I will say that
I will say that the game isn't necessarily perfect. I think there's a lot of things that were taken out from San Andreas. There was a lot of content in San Andreas that was cut in Grand Theft Auto 4. It didn't make it because I guess it doesn't fit that kind of game. But there was a lot of content removed from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas to Grand Theft Auto 4, and that is a shame. But everyone forgets about that because, well, you know, a lot of content was cut, but they also added the physics system, which, you know, makes it replayable forever, really. It just makes it a lot more dynamic in the reactions and the driving physics and all of that stuff. It's really interesting. So that's where they stand on that. And I can't get GTA 4 on the PlayStation Store. I don't need to play that game again. I'm ready for GTA 6. I don't need to play a game that came out 15, 20 plus years ago. I was there day one in 2008. Right after school, we played it. You know, I don't really need to play it again. But you guys obviously probably weren't. So there you go. I'm sure at one point they'll remaster the game and things like that. But it's unbelievable. That we could tell you. Skyrim has infinite content, and that's why I can't resonate with the Elder Scrolls fans, because the Elder Scrolls fans are needy. You know, they are they are impatient, and they can't handle it. That I can tell you. Let's go.
At Imposter Boy super chatted $1.99.
Oh my God, let's go.
They are rewriting to remove the woke from 6 Trust.
I don't care. I'll skip all the cutscenes. I don't care if it's woke. You know, if the gameplay is good and the feature set is good and the immersion's good, I don't care what the theme is of the game. I don't care about the theme of the game. Why would I care? If I wanted a story, I'd read a book. I don't care if it has woke themes or not. If the gameplay is addicting and the detail is truly next level, and I mean, you guys are not understanding like really what they're cooking. I can see the vision if it is, you know, the most ambitious title of all time, and that's assuming, of course, they really have their thinking cap on. But so sad, people are going to be hung up in these virtual worlds. Well, they already are. I mean, look at VR Chat, look at GTA RP, look at all these terrible games. I mean, even Arc Raiders, they've submitted their life to these games. It's really a disease when you think about it, because these gamers can't help themselves. I mean, they really can't. They get locked in. They get addicted to it. It's worse than any drug, and it's sad because, you know, they can't break away from the game. They don't know how to moderate it, you know, and it's just a sad situation, that I can tell you. It really is. It's a sad situation, that I can tell you. It's a sad situation.
At Harry Holmes 4,000.
Let's go.
Super chatted
Oh
£10.
my God.
Michael, which do you like more, San Andreas or GTA 5? I like San Andreas as a all-time classic.
Well, here's the thing. We thought GTA 5 was going to be the culmination of 4 and San Andreas put together, but it wasn't. So the biggest disappointment for me was GTA 5, because we thought it was going to take what they've learned from GTA 4, implement some of that stuff, you know, the physics and all that crap, and it turned out they downgraded all of that. And then take some of the feature set of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas that was missing in 4 and fuse those two together to make the ultimate Grand Theft Auto game. So I was hyping up Grand Theft Auto 5 like it was fucking GTA 6, 14, 15 years ago. You know what I mean? We were hyping up that game, and I said, it could be that next level experience in a way that makes sense, but quite frankly, it turned out to be a total disaster, because you play that game and it's just trash. That I could tell you. It's just really trash. It's a sad situation. Oh, Lord. It's a sad situation. Oh, my God. We're going to have to wrap this up here shortly, folks, and we will be coming back for the Resident Evil Showcase this Thursday. So we need you to lock in for that. Should be a big show. Should be a big broadcast, and we need the Resident Evil fans to get in here. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about what you think about me or anything like that. That's irrelevant to what we're doing here, because we're here to come together to talk about the video game and not about, your Dr. Phil problems, your Dear Diary problems. So if you can't get on board, then you'll be left behind. It's as simple as that. So you got to come in here this Thursday and get excited, because Resident Evil, they're doing the showcase 12-minute showcase. There could be a demo announcement at the end. There might not be. We don't really know. A lot of people are thinking that there is going to be a demo, despite them saying that there won't be a demo, and that would be great because, of course, we want to play a demo to see the latest slot that Capcom's churning out. But if they do not put out a demo, it will be marked the first time in 20 years that there won't be a demo for Resident Evil, and that is a huge red flag. So it really depends on what they're going to do here. But we're going to come back to the dissection table one last time as we wrap this up here. Taking a look at the dissection table. No public demo. First time in 20 years. Of course, that could change with this Resident Evil Showcase this Thursday. Resident Evil Showcase, speaking of that, is only 12 minutes long, which is the shortest, I believe, Resident Evil Showcase that they've ever done, which is concerning to say the least, but it kind of fits the theme with this game because they are holding a lot back with this one. And that's great because eventually the floodgates will open, but for now, it could mean that the game just isn't really where it needs to be. And I'm not talking on a technical level. I'm talking about maybe it just kind of sucks. This does look like it is potentially a Resident Evil 4 demake asset flip with a lot of animations returning and things like that. PS1 graphics, you can go look at my post. There's some new gameplay in the showcase trailer for the showcase, the Resident Evil Showcase. And we saw a snippet of gameplay in there that didn't look that great. I mean, it really didn't. It didn't look that great. Resident Evil 7 looked better than that. Hell, even Village looked better than that. So I don't know. They changed something, and it just doesn't look that. It looks low budget. Upon Fee said it best. He said it looked like a mod. It looked like a first-person mod, and it really did. It looked like a fucking first. It didn't look like it was actually, made by Capcom. It looked like a motherfucking ass. It looked like it was a first-person mod, so it's not a great sign. And we also put up a new Resident Evil video, and you can go watch that because you guys obviously probably missed that one if you haven't watched it already. So, with that said, we're going to wrap it up here, and we will see you for the Resident Evil Showcase on Thursday to see what Capcom has to pull that curtain back and what they have to show for with this Resident Evil 9 Requiem. So with that said, we're going to wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, and supporting the show. And we will see you later. It's over.